Hey everyone, just want to welcome you to week 12, module 12 for ME 270 Structural Dynamics. So this week we're going to take a look at chapter number 11 in our textbook, and in this chapter we're going to be looking into the response of multi-degree of freedom systems. In particular, we're going to spend most of the time looking at the superposition method here. We're also going to take some time and go back through some of the shear buildings and go through those problems and how to solve those in a little bit more detail in some example problem videos that I'm going to cover. One of the big ticket items for this week is your quiz number 12. This has been posted to Blackboard, and this will be due on Friday the 20th by 4 p.m. Now, just a reminder, as always, I have office hours on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9:30 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. But if these times don't work for you, send me a message, an email, or a chat on Teams, and we can schedule a time that works for both of us. So as we're jumping into chapter 12, I'm going to go over a little bit of what the book's going to cover here. So again, this is primarily we're going to focus during the lectures and during my video presentations on the superposition method and do a little bit of review at the beginning portion of some of these shear buildings and some spring mass damper problems. For the chapter, though, what we're going to be looking at is the transform of equations of motion for an n degree of freedom system to principal coordinates. We're going to determine the initial conditions in principal coordinates. We're going to generate some complex frequency response plots for these systems. We're also going to take a look at the displacement of internal stress response for these n degree of freedom systems to harmonic or transient excitation. We're going to take a look at the modal static displacements and describe the significance of the distribution of the input forces on the modal responses. We're going to determine the displacement and internal stress response for these systems. And we're looking at two things. For A, the system has no rigid body modes, or B, the system has rigid body modes, and compare those as well. So this is what the chapter is going to be covering from our textbook. Like I said, though, I will be focusing most of my lecture and example problems on the superposition method and some of the previous methods from earlier in the semester that lead up to that, and going through these problems in a little bit more detail. So we're going to break this down in a couple different sections. The first section from this module will be module 12.1. So again, with this one here, we're going to focus primarily on the superposition method, look at the principal coordinates, and some solutions for multi-degree of freedom systems, looking at the frequency response analysis. In 12.2, we go on to the mode displacement solution for the response for these multi-degree of freedom systems.